Awesome. This is where my last golden gnome should be. Oh boy. I cannot wait to get my hands on the gnomish perspective, and 500,000 coins. I can only imagine all of the potential legendary characters I can unlock.
What the fuck?
Welcome to a video on how to get good at the engineer, the character with more ass than any solar flare fan art ever conceived, and equipped with more ways to fuck chompers than the average anime girl gets in a 32-minute hentai film. Let's get started. The engineer is a fat-ass defensive utility class designed around supporting their team through their stuns and teleporters, whilst locking down areas with their big bolt blaster and turrets. The engineer has 125 health and moves on the slower side, so it will take some time to get to long distance areas. Additionally, compared to the other classes, the engineer is actually rather large, being about the size of an all-star, but only having the health of a soldier. Because of this, enemies may have an easier time taking you down, particularly due to your American-sized body. But of course, being the veteran that you are not entirely defenseless, and have access to a weapon, being the concrete launcher. This weapon of choice, as it should be obvious by the fucking name, launches out chunks of concrete that come out of this backpack attached just above the glory hole. The weapon fires at 75 rounds per minute, and has a massive 12 ammo per clip, before needing to take a slow 2.5 second reload. Each shot fired can deal 40 damage for a direct hit and 20 for the splash, in a very generous radius. No damage drop-off is present on this weapon, though it does have a harsh range limit of 55 meters. This does make engineer limited to mid-range gunfights, as due to his weapon's range handicap, he cannot engage in fights against long sightlines with cacti, so you will have to make sure you aren't caught out in the open against longer ranges classes, or else you will be more fucked than PopCap trying to keep PVZ3 afloat with its shitty updates. Like seriously, just put the poor thing out of its misery already, Jesus fucking Christ. Additionally, because the splash damage is as generous as a fucking Black Friday sale, make sure to secure high ground whenever you can, and just splash people to death like a little bitch, because no can tell you to not abuse the splash damage, when it's literally built into the character. Additionally, if within turf takeover, and zombies are on the attack, the engineer will be able to build a teleporter for his team. Each teleporter can come with 3 small turrets around it for the engineer to build, as to provide additional defenses around it. These teleporters will be viable for your team, so make sure that you actually fucking build them, and build the turrets to help defend the teleporter. Since it's been observed that 85% of the time, no one on your team will give a flying fuck about you, or your teleporter, so you will be forced to either defend it yourself, or get used to rebuilding it every 36 seconds. The engineer's first ability is the sonic grenade. This shit is your get out of jail free card, and certified fight winner 99% of the time. Just chuck this shit on the ground, and as long as it lands in the general direction of anyone you want to stun, it will hit them, stunning them for 1.5 seconds, with a 67% speed and sensitivity penalty. But if you happen to hit a chomper with the shit, then congratulations, because PopCap absolutely knows chompers enjoy breaking the laws of physics. They are stunned for an additional half second longer by your stun grenade, and if they are underground trying to go for someone, then force them to fuck out, because they're in your world now, and they are your bitches. Once casted, the ability goes on a 26-second cooldown. The engineer's second ability is the Big Bolt Blaster, a new addition. Since his drone license has been taken away, this mounted turret swaps out your primary for a powerful as fuck turret that does a shit ton of damage, as well as provide the user 40% armor whilst in use. However, unlike other mounted abilities, because PopCap are such talented developers, this one has a bit of hitbox protection from the front, meaning any shots from most weapons will be blocked by the turret's hitbox. One thing to keep in mind as a limitation is that you cannot aim all the way down, so it's best to keep this in mind if you are far above enemies. Additionally, like the pirate's cannon, you can use it as a way to bait chompers into trying to eat you and tell them to eat shit. The turret comes with 100 ammo and goes on a 30-second cooldown once any bullet is shot. The engineer's third and final ability is the jackhammer. Now, unlike the term used to describe someone who thrusts too fast and climaxes faster than the average PVZ fan overdosing on solar flare tip, the jackhammer in this game essentially allows you to cover large distances relatively quickly. It will provide the player with a 50% speed increase for 12 seconds, so use it to either race to the teleporter or to make quick escapes. Additionally, the jackhammer does come with a knockback that deals 5 damage if you ram straight into someone, which can be very hilarious if you knock people off the map, or if you feel like being a jackass to roses and their teleporters because you can. Once the jackhammer expires, it will go on a 25-second cooldown. In terms of strengths, the engineer overall is best at mid to close range gunfights and is generally friendlier to use with newer players thanks to his weapon's splash damage and very easy to use stun grenade. His jackhammer can be used to rush to places of interest quickly and lock them down with your big bolt blaster's huge damage. Lastly, in turf takeover, he can support his team with his teleporters, allowing them to quickly advance and take points easier. However, the engineer is relatively slow on foot and has a rather large hitbox, which with only 125 health means that you can die relatively quickly. His kit is largely based around mid to close range gunfights, with the bolt blaster being the only form of long-ranged option for him. Lastly, because his weapon fires relatively slow, it means that misses will be especially punishing, since you will potentially miss out on a potentially killing blow. Thanks to this guide, you will now be able to shake that ass and dominate people harder than the PVZ community does to any sunflower. Be sure to come back for the next episode next week. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more shit like this. Have fun.